Yo, what is up, guys? And welcome to the first episode of the Rock and Rumble podcast. I've been wanting to do a podcast pretty much for like a little while now at this point, and I'm actually now to the point where I feel like wanting to do one. So I decided, why not make a podcast titled the Rock and Rumble podcast? So I thought for this first episode of the podcast, I thought I'd introduce myself and give y'all my 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 thoughts on music and other stuff. So, my name is Jason. I love rock and metal music and a little bit of ska. Love metalcore. Love a little bit of deathcore music in my music taste, which I think is pretty sick. And I am currently a fan of a lot of bands now, which I will name them. You're gonna have to enjoy me listing all these bands. So yeah, the bands I'm a fan of are Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil, A Day to Remember, The Foo Fighters, Killswitch Engage, Bullet for My Valentine, All That Remains, The Aquabats, System of a Down, As I Lay Dying, Spiritbox, Wage War, Bring Me the Horizon, Blink-182, Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Asking Alexandria, The Amity Affliction, Motionless in White, Big Time Rush, Palais Royale, Tonight Alive, Ice Nine Kills, Sleep Token, Slipknot, Knocked Loose, My Darkest Days, Saint Asonia, Lorna Shore, Avenged Sevenfold, Slaughter to Prevail, I Prevail, Black Veil Brides, that's funny, and recently, some days ago, Beartooth, Memphis Mayfire, and Stray from the Path, with a few more bands being listed as well. So yeah, I'm a fan of all those bands, and I'm also a fan of the singer of Sleeping with Sirens, Kellen Quinn's project Haunted Mouths, with the collection of greetings, and also my good friend, shout out to her as well, my good friend Melanie Penny, who is actually also a really good music artist as well. She's actually done a feature with Kellen on a song of hers called Damaged DNA, which is a great song and its awesomeness. So yeah, all right. So yeah, I thought to myself, for this first episode, why not, um, why not also talk about the bands I'm a fan of and how long I've been a fan of them. So, starts off with Sleeping with Sirens. I've been a fan of them for 6 years now. The first song I heard from them was Legends, and then throughout the next years, I heard more of their stuff. And then in 2022, I ended up listening to songs from with their first album, With Ears to See and Eyes to Hear, and listened to more songs off of Feel and all the other albums. And then they had the new album, Complete Collapse, come out in October 2022, and they are currently working on a new album right now as we speak. So yeah, now Pierce the Veil, I've been a fan of them. I got into them in 2021, so I've basically been a fan of them for 4 years now. The first song I heard was King for a Day. I think that was kind of an obvious answer. So yeah, King for a Day, and it features the man himself, Kellen Quinn. That would be the one main song I would always listen to until in 2022, Pierce the Veil released Past the Nirvana off of their album The Jaws of Life. That was the second song I heard from them, and then came Emergency Contact, and then came Even When I'm Not With You, and then I ended up hearing all their albums, which are all incredible. And then the Jaws of Life release. And my first listen, I wasn't really too sure about the album, but pretty much now, I just now think it's a great album. They released the deluxe version of the album recently, couple months ago. With the new song "Kiss Me Now" and their cover of "Karma Police," which is awesome. And yeah, now Alright, now, A Day to Remember, I've only been a fan of these guys for a whole year. And I'm actually going to be completely honest, most of these bands I've been a fan of for a whole year. So yeah, A Day to Remember I've been a fan of for a whole year. The only album I would, well, not really album, I would only put like a few songs. It would be from their iconic album Homesick. But then I thought to myself, why not listen to all their albums, or like hear like some of their albums, and that's what I did. But then I thought to myself, with this year, why not have all the albums? So yeah. Now the Foo Fighters, I guess I can say that I would kind of got into them in 2022, but not like fully until last year in 2024. So yeah, the reason why I was kind of starting to get into the Foo Fighters in 2022 was because of Taylor Hawkins unfortunately passing away then 3 years ago. Rest in peace, legend. You will be remembered and missed, but loved by many. And the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert was also the reason why I was watching them perform. And then but then I stopped listening to them. But I mean, but then in 2024, I got back into listening to the Foo Fighters, listened to more of their songs, and now I'm a fan of them. Now I'm a big fan now. Okay, now Killswitch Engage, I've been a fan of for a whole year as well. Oh, and yeah, for the Foo Fighters, I can say that I've been a fan for 3 years now, I guess. Even though I didn't really listen to them much in 2023, but I'll just still say 3 years. But yeah, Killswitch Engage, I've been a fan of for a whole year. Had songs from The End of Heartache, As Daylight Dies, second self-titled, and I somehow can't remember. In due time. Okay, I remembered. Okay, so yeah. Last year I only had like certain songs off of those albums, but then I basically thought to myself, why not hear every album? And that's what we did. And now I really am a big fan of them. I mean, I've been a fan. I mean, I liked them ever since I first listened to them last year, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself to be a fan of them. Now, Bullet for My Valentine. Oh yeah, by the way, most of the bands I was recommended to by a good friend of mine, named Mason. So shout out to him for the band recommendations that he suggested to me. So yeah, so Bullet for My Valentine. Similar thing with A Day to Remember and Killswitch Engage. Only had like certain songs off of their albums, and didn't have any from Venom and Gravity. Had songs from The Poison, Scream, Aim, Fire, Fever, Temper, and their self-titled album. But now with my music listening, I've listened to all their albums, including the deluxe edition of their self-titled album. They actually got a new album in the works that's coming soon, and I'm excited for that. All right. Now, All That Remains, been a fan of them for a year as well. Same thing with the others. Same thing with A Day to Remember, Killswitch, and Bullet. Had only like a certain amount of songs from like A War You Cannot Win and The Order of Things. I'm pretty sure it was only those two, and then I would just not add anything else until later on. I would add songs from The Fall of Ideals and Victim of the New Disease. And then their new album, Anti-Fragile, came out at the end of January this year, which is honestly a banger album. It's so awesome. The first album to not feature original lead guitarist Ollie Herbert. Rest in peace, you're an absolute legend. You will forever be remembered in the All That Remains community. Yeah, rest in peace, man. Now, the Aquabats. Now, this band is really interesting because I've been a fan of these guys way longer than all the other bands I've mentioned. I've known these guys since like the late 2000s, early 2010s. So basically over 10 years, over like 10 years at this point, like 10 to 15 years, I think. So yeah, yeah. I didn't know them like way back because this band started back in the mid 1990s in 1994, known for making ska music, which is a bunch of trumpets, saxophones, trombones, all of that. And with their music now, they pretty much go for like the more of the rock sound with like the guitars and the keyboards. And yeah, they released their album finally last June, which is an absolute masterpiece of an album. Last year was also their 30th anniversary, so I got to listen to all their albums, and I also dressed up as them for Halloween last year as well for the 30th anniversary, which was awesome. And man, I'm still glad to be a fan of those heroes to this day, like 10 to 15 years later. Now, System of a Down, got into listening to them in 2021, but then I stopped when 2022 came along. But yeah, 2021 I've pretty much heard System of a Down. So I've basically known them for basically 4 years. And the first song I heard was Chop Suey, one of their iconic songs. And that would be the only song I would hear until in 2024 I would end up listening to more songs. And then I would same thing with some other bands. I would have certain songs from certain albums, from the self-titled album, Toxicity, Steal That Album, Mesmerize, and Hypnotize. But now, with me hearing every single album, I now really love this band, which is awesome. Hi. Now, I'm not even sure if I want to talk about this band because this band is the most controversial band ever. And that band is As I Lay Dying, the most controversial band ever with a controversial singer of Tim Lambesis. I know it sounds crazy mentioning his name, but I have to talk about this band because I've been a fan of this band for a whole year. And just like with the other bands, like I said, had certain songs from certain albums like Shadows of Security, An Ocean Between Us, and I think it's just those two. If I've or maybe no, it's not. Powerless Rise and Awakened. Until listening to all their albums in November, right before their new album Through Storms Ahead was getting released, and also by October of last year, it was a hard time. It was a hard and difficult time for me, especially being a new fan of them. Yeah, the whole band broke up. The whole band broke up, and including their tour manager that decided to quit as well. So, and As I Lay Dying, he does have a tour scheduled for the fall this year, and I don't know how that's gonna go, but we'll have to wait and find out. Now, Spiritbox, again, been a fan of them for a whole year. Love their album, love their debut, their first album, Eternal Blue. Holy Roller is definitely a favorite of mine on that album. And they released their second album, Tsunami Sea, in March of this year. My favorite on that album is probably either No Loss, No Love, Black Rainbow, or Soft Spine, or probably Ride the Wave or Deep End. I think those are honestly my top 5 actually on that album. Oh man, but yeah. But yeah, Spiritbox is an amazing band. Courtney is an amazing vocalist. For singing and screaming, she is awesome. And wow. Alright. Now we go to Wage War. Now again, I've been a fan of these dudes for a whole entire year. And it was a similar thing with this band. Had only had like a certain amount of songs from Blueprints and Deadweight and Pressure and Manic. And then with their new album Stigma that was released last June as well, I would have all the songs, and then I would decide to myself, you know what? Why not hear all the albums in full, like in its entirety? And that's what I did, and now I'm really a fan of them. And now we get to Bring Me the Horizon, which it's actually about to be a year since I became a fan of these guys. So I think I've been a fan for 10 months now. So yeah, I've been a fan of these guys for 10 months now, about to go to 11. And then by September, it'll be a whole year since I became a fan of Bring Me the Horizon. And so yeah. The first songs I decided to hear from them was off of their new album, Posthuman Next Gen, which were really cool. But I think one of my favorite songs on that album is titled Kool-Aid, which it's a banger. It's jumpy. I love it. And then I decided to hear other songs like Can You Feel My Heart. As soon as I heard the beginning, I was like, hang on a second, I feel like I've heard a snippet of this before. And I did. I did recognize that. And then I heard okay, hang on, what's that? I forgot what that song is called. I gotta look at it. It's something from their third album. I really can't remember. Oh geez, I gotta look at it, guys. Hold on. It's from their third album. It Never Ends. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, it's the song "It Never Ends." That's a great song too. And then I decided to listen to all their albums, starting from Count Your Blessings until to Ammo, and I think up to Posthuman Next Gen. But yeah, Count Your Blessings. That's a freaking wild, ridiculous, crazy start for Bring Me the Horizon being deathcore. That's ridiculous. Okay, but now Blink-182. So I've known So pretty much since like 2021, I've known the name Blink-182. I just didn't really get into full on hearing them until December of last year. So I think it's about to be so December. Actually, I think it's about to be like I think we're at 7 months now. Actually, I think we're at 7 months, about to go into 8, which is crazy. But yeah, oh, oh man, but yeah, with Blink-182, it's just like with some of the other bands. I would have set certain songs on my playlist, but I have like every single song of theirs now. I have heard the some that I have not heard onto my playlist when I put it on shuffle. And I really like these guys. Travis Barker is a really good drummer. And I became a fan of these guys in December of last year. All right, now we move on to Linkin Park, which I actually became a fan of a month after their new album From Zero was released. So it was December 15th or December 14th, December 14th or 15th. It was either one of those days. But yeah, became a fan of these guys a month after From Zero was released. Heard that whole album, and then I decided to listen to the rest of the albums: Hybrid Theory, Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, Living Things, and Hunting Party. One More Light. So Hybrid Theory, Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, Living Things, Hunting Party. I know there was another one. I can't remember. But yeah, One More Light is one of them. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, people. I'm looking at their discography. It's not the paper cuts. So yeah. Oh, A Thousand Suns. Okay, A Thousand Suns. Got it. I'm so bad at memorizing stuff. But yeah. Linkin Park made their comeback almost a year ago by now in 2 months, and introduced a new vocalist, Emily Armstrong, and drummer Colin Britton. And they're still carrying on the legacy. They're carrying on the legacy of the band for Chester, and I'm guessing also for Rob as well, since he decided not to come back to the band. But yeah, Emily's awesome. Colin's also a great drummer as well. It's amazing. It's awesome to welcome them into the band last year. Now I'm gonna get into Kellen's project Haunted Mouths. For the album, A Collection of Greetings, is so beautiful. Oh my god, like it's so beautiful. he released it in February of this year on Valentine's Day. My favorite song on that album is Meanwhile, and I'm honestly just so proud of this guy because he's so supportive and he's so kind. I love it. Now we're going to My Chemical Romance. Became a fan of these guys early this year. I'm pretty sure in January. Mainly listened to the Black Parade album, and then I think a few months after, I decided to listen to their second album, and then pretty much now, a few weeks ago, I just decided to add their first album and their recent album to my playlist, and I'm proud. I'm honestly proud. And yeah, the Black Parade was such a great album. My favorite song on that album is "Welcome to the Black Parade." And because seriously, it's like one of their iconic songs. Well, Helena is also an iconic song too off their second album, but still, it's great. So yeah, I've been a fan of these guys since I believe January, so 6 months now. So 6 months now, about to go to 7. Alright, so yeah. And now we move on to Paramore. Became a fan of this band this year. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was January. It's either January or February, so been a fan of them for a few months. And yeah, just like with other bands, again, I would have certain songs in my playlist from them, from Riot and Ignorance and Self-Titled, and This Is Why. And yeah. But now I have every song off for their albums, which again, I am proud of. I think there was an album that I actually missed. Oh, After Laughter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Self-Titled, Brand New Eyes, After Laughter, Riot, and all we know is Falling. Is that what it is? All we know is Falling. Yep. Yeah, and they also have that song Decode for Twilight, which I think is really cool. And now we go on to Breaking Benjamin, which I actually first started listening to in April of this year. So I've only been a fan of these guys for 3 months now, about 3 months now, gonna go into 4 next month. And yeah, it's honestly cool to be a fan of these guys. And yeah, pretty much also the reason why I listen to them is because my dad has always wanted me to listen to Breaking Benjamin, and I'm honestly not disappointed. I'm not disappointed with myself. I really like this band now, and I think their music is really great. The Diary of Jane, I Will Not Bow, Breathe, So Cold, Dance with the Devil, Angels Fall, their new song Awaken. I'm really wondering, Dear Agony. I'm wondering when they'll announce something else along with Awaken, because it's been a while. Hi. And now we're going on to 3 Days Grace. Been a fan of these guys for a whole year, basically over a year. And yeah, same thing with other bands. Had certain songs from their albums. From the Self-Titled album, I only had I Hate Everything About You. And then I would have songs from 1X and Human, and that would be it. That would be it. I don't know why. And then with the announcement of Adam Gontier returning to the band, I started listening to all their albums to be ready for the new music. And it was good timing. It was good timing. They released Mayday, November 22nd. They released, and then months later, they released the new song Apologies on May 9th, and announced their new album Alienation, due to be out August 22nd. So basically in a few weeks by now, at the time of recording this. And then they released two more singles. They released Dominate last month on the 20th, and then they just recently released Kill Me Fast, which honestly they're all great. And then yeah, now I have all their albums so far onto my playlist. Alienation is gonna be added. So yeah. And now we're going on to Asking Alexandria. Became a fan of these guys in May, thanks to my bestie Aaron. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Bestie, for making me become a fan of this band. So yeah. This band is also really cool. Danny Worsnop is phenomenal. And yeah, Alone in a Room, Moving On, Not the American Average, I Won't Give In, Into the Fire, A Prophecy, The Black, Dark Void, and Psycho. Yeah, the Black album was sung by a different guy, Dennis Stoff, who was the new vocalist after Danny left. But he was only in the band for like a short amount of time, so he didn't really get much time with the band. But yeah. Asking Alexandria is another great band. They have been getting a lot of backlash though. Some weeks ago after the Washington D.C. performance for Warped Tour, and people have been saying they want Danny to leave. They want Ben Bruce to come back, but Ben Bruce has moved on. Danny wants to do what he wants to do. Just deal with it. And now we move on to the Amity Affliction, another band that my bestie Aaron has made me become a fan of. With with mainly the song with Pittsburgh and also Soak Me in Bleach. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Oh man, so but yeah, I became a fan of these guys in close to late May. So getting close to late May, I became a fan of these guys, and then pretty much a couple days after, they released a new song called All That I Remember. It's actually really good. It's actually really good, and it's the first song to feature new bassist and also clean vocalist Jonathan, I believe his name is. I believe that's his name, if I remember correctly. People, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you people let me know if I got that first name right, because I can't remember. But yeah, it's definitely something like that. But yeah, all their albums are great. And I'm trying to remember. Joel is the vocalist, if I remember. And yeah, and 2025, Aaron, the original bassist and clean vocalist, got fired. Basically, I'm guessing he got fired from the band because he got blocked by them. But yeah, he's moving on. We got the new guy, and yeah. But yeah, bands, that happens with bands. They move on to new eras. So yeah. Now we go on to Motionless in White, another band that Aaron made me become a fan of, thanks with the song Cyberhex. We got absolutely destroyed by the Blah. Thank you. So now, now I love all their albums now. And yeah, Chris Motionless is definitely something else when it comes to vocals and Blaze and stuff. He is an absolute phenomenon. And yeah, all their albums are incredible. Creatures, Infamous, Scoring the End of the World, and all that. It's awesome. And now we move on to a band that is pretty different from most of the bands I've mentioned, because they are a pop boy band that I've also pretty much known for years, who even had a Nickelodeon show titled the same name. And that band is none other than Big Time Rush. I've known these guys since their Nickelodeon show aired, and I've loved these dudes on that show, and now I love listening to their music. The BTR album, Elevate, 24/7, and also now their new album, Another Life. And I can't believe that they're still going. They're currently on tour right now, doing the In Real Life World Tour with Caitlin Tarver and Stephen Kramer Glickman, by the way, those two also starred in the show. So yeah, and now, all right, but now we're getting to the bands that I just decided to listen to, and that I just decided to listen to, and that I'm a fan of now. We're going on to Palais Royale, which, by the way, their music is actually really good too. I really I really do like I really like their stuff, their work, and all the albums that they've done. Fever is definitely something else. So yeah, Fever is definitely something else. The Bastards, Boom Boom Boom, the side A and side B, and then Death Death or Glory is something else as well. That's really good too. Yeah, I like it. And now we go on to Tonight Alive, the Australian band that my drumming inspiration, Matty Best, used to be in. He is actually Matty Best is actually still part of is actually still part of Tonight Alive, but he's also part of Sleeping with Sirens now as well. Pretty much, and yeah, when I was hearing Tonight Alive, when I was hearing the albums, it was honestly crazy hearing Matty's drumming in this band in Tonight Alive. It was crazy hearing his drumming in Tonight Alive's discography, because I was used to him in Sleeping with Sirens, because that's how I first knew him. But yeah, Lonely Girl, The Edge, Wasting the Other Side, Disappear, Breaking and Entering, Temple, all that stuff. Tonight Alive is awesome. Jenna McDougall is an amazing vocalist. Matty Best was awesome on the drums in that band as well. He's awesome. He's awesome in both Tonight Alive and Sleeping with Sirens, no matter what it is. And now we go on to Ice Nine Kills. Probably one of the most craziest bands ever, because of they got 2 albums that are like horror themed, which is honestly kind of intense. but to me, with that, I actually enjoy that. I'm looking at them now, but yeah, Rainy Day, The Shower Scene, Funeral Derangements, and Hip to Be Scared, The American Nightmare, A Grave Mistake, A Work of Art, and The Great Unknown. I'm pretty sure The Great Unknown is one of their recent ones. Yeah, it is. They actually are gonna plan on they actually are gonna shoot a music video later on Tuesday. So I'm excited to see that. Oh yeah. And also the song "It Is the End" is also a pretty good song. Alright, so yeah. Now we move on to Sleep Token, the anonymous band. So yeah, the band that remains anonymous, which basically means that the members, like actual names, are unknown. They're anonymous, and they don't want to reveal their identities. All the all of those, and yeah, all of those songs are actually really good too. From even in Arcadia, Take Me Back to Eden. Jeez, it has a lot of songs on the new album. Hang on. Gotta look at the discography. And yeah, Sundowning and This Place will be. No wait. Oh no, yeah, Sundowning and This Place will become your tomb. And yeah, Sleep Token is becoming one of the biggest bands now, which is honestly really cool. So it's honestly cool to see that. And now we're moving on to Slipknot. The reason why I also wanted to listen to this band is because my dad has actually wanted me to listen to this band as well, and I did that. I did that a few weeks ago. Listened to all their albums. It was actually really cool. It was actually really cool hearing all those albums, and hearing the albums that Joey Jordison worked on. Rest in peace, dude. What a legend you are. Oh man. And yeah, Corey Taylor is a crazy vocalist. He's an absolute monster. And it's wild that I find it crazy that for Slipknot it is actual people, but when they play live they all wear a different masks to make it interesting. And yeah, they all wear different masks and they would wear the same outfit but different masks which I think is honestly quite a cool twist. But I know it can definitely be scary for some people. But now, next up, we're at Knocked Loose. Now this band was definitely something else. Especially when I heard Suffocate and Slaughterhouse 2 featuring Chris Motionless, and yeah, Suffocate featuring Poppy. I got so destroyed by those two. Oh my god. It was ridiculous. Yeah, You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to, Laugh Tracks, and Upon... Wait, hang on. Wait, hang on. They only got 3 albums, so yeah. Laugh Tracks, You Won't Go Before You're No, yeah. You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. A Different Shade of Blue, and Laugh Tracks. Okay, yeah. But yeah, Suffocate is definitely my favorite song from their recent album. It's crazy, and also Brian, the vocalist of this band, is actually featured in the Motionless in White song Slaughterhouse, which I think is really cool. Hi. And now we move on to My Darkest Days, the band that singer Matt Walsh actually used to be in before joining 3 Days Grace in 2013. Alright, so yeah. Alright, so yeah, alright. So yeah, this band only has 2 albums, their self-titled album and Sick and Twisted Affair. My favorite song on the self-titled album is definitely Porn Star Dancing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Porn Star Dancing is definitely my favorite on the self-titled album. It's one of their big songs, and My Darkest Days is actually pretty much... They are pretty much still active on social media to this day. They just don't really. They just haven't really put anything out ever since Matt joined 3 Days Grace in 2013. So yeah, their stuff is good. And now Saint Asonia, the band that Adam Gontier formed after leaving 3 Days Grace, formed in 2015. I believe so, because yeah, they've got the self-titled album and Flawed Design, and they've actually got 2 EPs, Introvert and Extrovert. One of them includes a cover of Blinding Lights, which I think is actually really cool. And yeah, it was also cool hearing it. And yeah, and honestly, Adam's voice in Saint Asonia is still awesome. Even in this band, he's awesome. And same thing with Matt. Even when he was in My Darkest Days, his voice was awesome then. Alrighty. And now this band I became a fan of pretty much a couple weeks ago, Lorna Shore. Now, Will Ramos is an amazing... He's an absolute demon in this band, and I don't even know what to say. Also, I'm pretty sure there was someone else in this band too, if I remember. Yeah, the other vocalist in this band is a guy named Tom Barber, who, by the way, is actually featured on the As I Lay Dying song We Are the Dead, along with Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail, which we will get to later on. Oh man, but yeah. Lorna Shore actually has a new album coming out this September titled okay, well, unfortunately I can't see it. Unfortunately I can't see it on what I'm looking at for Spotify, so I'll have to look at it and let y'all know. I'll have to remember what it's called. And yeah, they released 2 songs called Oblivion and Unbreakable. I actually have not heard them yet because I kind of wanted to wait for the album to come out so I can be surprised by those 2. I don't know. But yeah, Pain Remains, To the Hellfire, Sun/Eater, yeah, Into the Earth, Cursed to Die, all that stuff. So yeah, Pain Remains, Immortal, Flesh Coffin, and I really don't know how you say that. I'm not gonna attempt it. But yeah, all those albums are awesome. Will is a demon. Tom was a demon in the first 2 albums, I think, or maybe it was the only debut album. I don't know. All right, but now, Avenged Sevenfold. Now I got to be honest. I pretty much listened to Avenged Sevenfold in 2021. The only song I heard was Unholy Confessions. But then after 2021, I just completely stopped listening to them until actually deciding to listen to them. So I've known Avenged Sevenfold since like 2021. So I guess for like 4 years I've known them. But yeah, all those other songs, Hail to the King, Nightmare, Bat Country, Shepherd of Fire is definitely, and pretty much all the albums were incredible. You've got critical acclaim for the self-titled album. It's awesome, and yeah, I love it. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. But yeah, now we're getting to the last few bands, and so yeah, we got Slaughter to Prevail, who I became a fan of a couple weeks ago. Might have been a few days ago, actually. Actually, no, yeah, it was definitely a few weeks ago. But yeah, Slaughter to Prevail has recently released their third studio album titled Grizzly. Like, dude, what a title! Like, bro, what a demonic title! What a demonic title for an album! But yeah, Misery, Sermon, Costalome. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. And then Grizzly, and yeah. So yeah, their new album Grizzly was actually really good. So yeah, the new album was actually really good. The only complaint, the only complaint that I have on this album is the I'm Dead feature. The song I'm Dead was good, but the only complaint I had was the feature on it. And the feature on there is Ronnie Radke from Falling in Reverse. Now, I don't know if I'll ever find myself listening to Falling in Reverse anytime soon. Because I cannot stand Ronnie Radke at all. But yeah, Grizzly was such a demonic album. It's so good. All right, and yeah. All right. But yeah. Now we move on to I Prevail. I Prevail. I've been a fan of for a whole year, with mainly having songs from True Power until deciding to actually listen to Lifelines and Trauma, which I did, and they were good. They were really good, and with now in May they announced that they were mutually departing ways with Clean vocalist Brian Burkheiser, which was definitely sad, but it was definitely sad, but was looking forward to this new era. For I Prevail, they released the songs Violent Nature, Into Hell, and recently Rain. And yeah, pretty much a lot of people became a fan of these guys because of their Blank Space cover by Taylor Swift. But yeah. Okay, but yeah, and yeah, I Prevail has a new album coming out on September 19th titled Violent Nature. So I'm excited for that. It's the first album without Brian, which is crazy to believe. But I'm looking forward to it. We're about to enter a new era of the band. And actually, a little fun fact, Brian's actually going to has actually been working on a project of his own called Scatterbrain. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for him. All right, and now we go on to Black Veil Brides, who I actually became a fan of a few days ago, as well. It was definitely, it was definitely a few weeks ago too. Oh man, because the song In the End, like when I heard the chorus, I was like, wait a second, I feel like I've heard this chorus before, and I'm guessing I did, because it definitely sounded familiar. I think I just remembered, because I'm pretty sure I remembered that my dad also likes Black Veil Brides, so he wanted me to listen to them too. So yeah, I'm now a fan of them. So yeah, we stitch these wounds, and Set the World on Fire, Wretched and Divine, The Story of the Wild Ones, self-titled album, Veil and The Phantom Tomorrow. Those are all good. They actually just recently released a new song called Hallelujah from their new upcoming album that's yet to be announced. They actually posted something in the Outcasts community channel, with a countdown that was like for 12 days, and I'm predicting that something's gonna happen on like the 4th of August. So we'll have to wait and see for that. And now, all right, but now we're getting to the last 3 bands I have on here so far that I became a fan of a few days ago. That's Beartooth, Memphis Mayfire, and Stray from the Past. So Beartooth was definitely good. Yeah. So yeah. Disgusting, aggressive, disease, below, and the surface were all great. The vocalist of the band is awesome, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about them. But yeah, now Memphis Mayfire. Alright, so yeah, I've listened to all the albums, including their new ones. So that's another album added to my albums of 2025. But yeah, Sleepwalking, The Hollow. If I remember correctly, Challenger is an album. You got unconditional. Excuse me. And then This Light I Hold, Broken, Remade in Misery, and then their new album Shapeshifter. It's real, and yeah, all those albums are incredible. Shapeshifter is definitely a cool album as well. Matty Mullins is definitely an awesome vocalist. And fun fact about him, he was featured in the Sleeping with Sirens song Congratulations from Feel. So that song is actually kind of how I first heard his name. Alright. And now the final band on this list so far is Stray from the Past. I've heard all their albums. I've heard all their albums that they've made. Starting off with Villains. It's basically their third studio album because the first 2 are not on Spotify. But yeah, Villains, Make Your Own History, Rising Sun, Anonymous, Subliminal Criminals, whatever. Don't make fun of me for that. Only Death is Real, Internal Atomics, and whatever. And then in late May, I think it was late May, they released their final album, believe it or not, Clockworked. So yeah. After this year, the band is gonna disband, and yeah. But yeah, there's no beef. There's no beef against them. They don't hate each other. They still love each other. They just won't really be doing anything anymore after this year. Alright, so yeah. Alright, so yeah, that was me talking about all the bands that I'm a fan of, and also introducing myself. So yeah, and so yeah, and with this being the first episode of the Rock and Rumble podcast, this can conclude the first episode of the Rock and Rumble podcast. So I would like to say thank you all for tuning in to the first episode of the podcast. I've been wanting to do something like this for a little while. I'm actually now glad I am. I'm actually hoping to possibly do I'm planning to do like album reviews, hopefully like possible interviews as well. So be on the lookout for those. So yeah, I hope to do that, and I do hope to talk about different types of I do hope to also talk about music, and how there will probably be another episode where I will talk about more bands I'm gonna add. So be on the lookout for that. And so yeah, thank you all for tuning into the first episode of the podcast, and 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 keep on rocking, keep on rumbling, because it could be time to rock and rumble. And I will, and so yeah, thank you all for tuning into the first episode of the podcast, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out, people.